Hey everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have my 1989 Casablanca Four Seasons. This is my first 5-blade Four Seasons and IntelliTouch Four Seasons as well. It's also the newest Four Seasons I own, so it's a few firsts. It's also the first set of pine blades I've ever had. These actually go very well with my furniture in my room, so I definitely think this is my favorite install in terms of how much it matches. Now, when I originally installed it, I had different globes on it, but changed the globes in the San Marino, so I moved them into here because these are really a pain in the butt to store because you can't stack them. And in my current situation, the best way to store my glass is to stack. So I always try to keep these on a fan simply because they're very hard to store. And I also have 2 sets of these now, so it's even worse. Alright, well anyway, got this in a trade from Andrew Wu for one of my teal 1930s originals. And it's 4 fans. And this is one of them. So, go ahead and start off with demo mode here. The buzzing you hear is one of my preheat fluorescent lights. This is the only video lighting I could pull out at the moment. My normal incandescent stuff is somewhere else. So I just grabbed 3 strip lights. Does pretty well. Does throw off the white balance though. Nah, whatever, I'll just let it be. Maybe I'll just turn off the really loud one. Yeah, that's enough light without that one. And now for general settings, starting with the light. Oh. Okay. Sometimes the board acts up. Maybe it's the switch, but it normally doesn't do that, so that's kind of odd. Huh. Well, okay. Yeah, it's never done that before. Anyway, speed 1. I'll film a 5-blade video of this later. I don't really feel like changing it to 5 blades right now. I did 4 because I wanted to see how it looks, and I personally think that 5-blade Four Seasons are cool, but I also don't like how the blades themselves pretty much cover up the entire fan housing because everything is so close together because of the stubby brackets. I think it just looks kind of weird. And I also noticed that it wobbles less with 4 blades than it does with 5, so I'd rather keep it a little less wobbly. And I do have it on a post-recalled hang tree. That was what the Gemini was hanging on, so I just threw it up because they're all polished brass. Nothing really, didn't need to do anything else. I don't feel like putting it on a period correct ribbed hang tree or anything. It's kind of silly. So this has pretty good bearings, and it actually performs very well. It moves about as much air as the Gemini did. The Gemini was one of my faster IntelliTouch fans that I have, and moved more. It moved more air than most of my other IntelliTouch fans. So I'm glad that this one at least pretty much is on par with that, because I don't like having things in here that move less air than the previous fan, because it gets really hot in here. Alright, speed 2. I'm not really sure why it gets hot in here, but it just does. It's typically around 80 degrees and higher every single day without fail. And I really dislike it, but I've gotten used to it. And like I said, the pine blades, they match my furniture amazingly. My desk is actually pine, so this matches perfectly with that. And my bookshelf is bleached oak, but it's close enough to pine. And then my cube organizer thing is it's kind of pine, but it's also something else. It looks more like maybe a light oak, but anyway, it matches with the blades well. So this was a good choice. I'm glad to finally have a set of these blades. Right, speed 3. And fun fact, this thing's actually been installed long enough to where it has balanced itself out on high speed and it wobbles less than it used to, which is nice. Another thing that's cool about this is the flywheel is in good shape. Most 89 fans are notorious, and 88 for that matter, are notorious for having bad rubber flywheels that break a lot. But this one is pretty flexible and doesn't show any signs of being rotted of any sort, so I'm pretty happy about that. It does have the original board as well. This came with a Fabian light kit originally, but of course that was not included. I'm not really upset about that because, you know, I probably wouldn't have even installed it with that light kit if I'm honest, so it's fine by me. I wanted to see what a Four Seasons looked like with a K4, so I put this on. Although I've done that before, but it was a 42 inch, or a 38 inch rather. Never done it with a 48 inch one, so I wanted to see how that looked. Looks really nice. Alright, speed 4. Yeah, making sure that I got that right. So it starts to wobble on speed 5, otherwise it doesn't wobble at all. The problem with this is that the canopy it's on and the fact that it doesn't weigh a lot makes it be able to move more. If it was on a recalled hang true, it would be a little more sturdy. But it's also very light compared to most of my other fans, given that the housing is smaller, so it wobbles more. And I think at least 3 of the blades are warped, but that's fine. I mean, I'm used to warped blades. Most of the blades I have are warped, so that's nothing new. It's been a long time since I've done an IntelliTouch video, I just realized that. Huh. Wow. Yeah, I've been behind on filming things like this. I've been trying to find time to test fans, but I just haven't really had the motivation, I guess, to get out there and do that. Alright, speed 5. This pretty much runs on high all the time. Sometimes I will turn it down when it gets... Sometimes my body goes through these phases where my 80-degree room feels cold and I get chills, so then I turn the fan down. But most of the time it's on high. It's been running on high every day for like a month now, roughly, with some days where it's like on low or whatever. Even in the winter time I ran it on high a lot, but that's also because my room is still kind of warm in the winter, but sometimes it gets cold in here in the winter because of my window. It's weird. But I don't have too much longer in this bedroom anyway, so not sure what I'm going to put in my bedroom in the apartment, but I'll figure something out. Might actually put this in the bedroom, I don't know. But these are the blades it came with, as I mentioned, so it didn't come with a set of 5 short blades. However, I have some anyway, so if I want to make a little baby 5-blade Four Seasons, I can. Right, high speed. Yeah, like I said, this does not wobble nearly as much as it used to. It's definitely balanced itself out, which is nice. That's what that's what the rubber flywheel is designed to do. So over time, if a blade is out of clock or warped just a little bit or enough to make it wobble, even a significant amount, over time it'll balance itself out. That's what they're supposed to do anyway. That was the idea behind the rubber flywheel with the rubber spokes. Also, it reduces a lot of the vibration and noise, making this a much quieter fan than spinner motor competition, without the use of grommets, felt washers, anything like that. But sometimes flywheels dry rot and become stuck in their warp position, and if you don't put the blades in the right order, then it's completely out of whack and it wobbles, and sometimes they can't balance themselves after they've been dry rotted. So that's when you buy a new flywheel. Most people don't know that about flywheels, that's their intention, or not their intention, their purpose for the rubber flywheel, but that is exactly what they're for. Self-balancing, and Emerson's do a better job because Emerson has a better rubber than Casablanca used. Casablanca's flywheel construction started to decline in 1988, and then, I mean, it got better after, but Emerson's hardly ever break, like ever. Even back from when they started using the normal flywheel that Casablanca used in the 90s to today with their weird DC motor thing. Alright, now we'll do a spin down. You've already seen it in reverse because of demo mode, so I don't see a point in putting it in reverse with all speeds. But yeah, I know a lot more about fans than I used to, especially the more I've been, working. I've learned a lot about fans. I mean, I knew a ton already coming into the job, but wow, I didn't know that there was even more to learn. I mean, I guess I did, but there's so many different things that I would have never thought of. And I know a lot more about the history of brands as well. So it's pretty neat. I do enjoy my job. If y'all have any questions, I guess I might be able to try doing a live stream sometime, one of my free time days, and we can answer questions. I don't know. That's just a thought, but yeah. As I grow older, I gain more knowledge in fans, but that would have probably happened anyway, but I've learned more than I probably would have if I didn't have this job. So that's pretty cool. And the light kit's actually a lot older than the fan. I believe it's from 1982. And the brass plating is coming off. I'm going to go ahead and... I normally cut through this, but I'm lazy right now. I'm going to show you the blades up close. They're very nice. They're in great shape too. There's not really any scuffs on them. I'm very impressed. Except for that one on the very end right there. You can see it. But otherwise, they're pretty great condition. And fan itself, the finish is good. Except for the light kit, of course, but that was added by me. So yeah, it's very nice. And I've never been the one to worry about what day or month Casablanca fans are made in. When I decipher the serial number, I'll figure it out then, but I always forget. I just remember the year. That's what I make a point to remember. So, yeah. This is actually the only 1989 IntelliTouch fan I own. All my other 1989 fans are pole chain. They're Delta 2s. So I think that's pretty neat as well, that finally have an 89 IntelliTouch fan. And I also actually have an 89 catalog with these blades in it. Let me grab that real quick before I end the video. I also have an 88 for that matter, so it's cool to have both of them together. Here's the 88 and here's 89. So yeah, I think personally, from a aesthetic standpoint, that the 88 catalog cover is a little cooler. It has this cool like terrazzo look on it. There's the place it came from. One of the many showrooms that we bought out back in the day when they were dying. We bought their supplies and stuff. So, and fans that they were selling to use for our own. And that was one of them. It's out in Bedford, or Hearst actually, but yeah, that's over by Fort Worth. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for watching.